Well, we return today essentially to pick up where we left off. We are back with a big game at Sporting Lisbon, or two big games, as we go to Braga and host Porto, the league leaders. Both sides are up in that mix in the top four with us. And as we saw in the last episode, if we can compete, it gives us a great chance of achieving our goals and more this year. Yes, hello, and welcome along to part 55 of the Coach's Head with me, Daniel. We're at our final club, and today we've got two big games, as weirdly they've all just ended up bunched together here. After beating Benfica in a huge turnaround and winning our League Cup game to get through in the week last time out, we are back to face Braga and Porto, two of the top four, and two sides that have regularly been finishing above Sporting Lisbon before we join the club. So if you're looking forward to seeing how we get on in this one, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. If we are going to have our struggles, it's probably away from home. And what this does mean, and you've got to bear it in mind, is that Porto and Benfica later in the season will both be away games as well. Let's start though by having a quick look at the schedule, because although we haven't played any games, we have got our cup game coming up after the international break, the fourth round of the actual Portuguese Cup. That one, a slightly tougher opposition. They're bottom of the top tier, but they're not a second tier side. So at least we know there's going to be some level of opposition. But just having a look at that league schedule again, as I mentioned, we've got the same run at the end of the season with Benfica, Braga and Porto back to back. And I guess how difficult it is may depend on who's still in Europe and whatever else. But with Benfica and Porto being away from home, that is going to be a real tough end if we are in a mix for anything. So the more points we can get on the board now, probably the better for the club. Aside from that, though, let's go straight through to the squad and the fixtures for today's game, because Porto have done it again. They've won the first game of the night. They have got themselves 4 points clear, but we've got a chance to close the gap to one. And ironically, Porto have got the worst goal difference of the top four that they had prior to this match day starting. So if Braga beat us, they go above us on goal difference. They start to put the pressure on as well. And Benfica this weekend, I think they play tomorrow night. Or have they just not got a game at all? What is going on? The way the games are being moved for European fixtures is very bizarre. Next week, we're both playing on the same evening. So we could end this episode top or down in fourth place. Let's see which one it's going to be. As we go through the tactical meeting, it's a big crowd in at Braga. Just seeing if there's any familiar names in their 4-4-2. Not so many. Francisco Conceição, probably the star of the show. He's an elite level winger. He's a very good player. He's had a good start to the season, so probably he's the one to watch of their side. We're going to close down loads of people as recommended, and we're going to look at the team, because if you remember, the last episode we played that midweek cup game, you have to start the two under-21s. Here you don't. So John Hervenhoff will return for Fernandez, who didn't have a great game there. We're going to try and get Fataru on the bench for Souza, and he'll be replaced in Pedro Mendes, who's got a heavy match load. And while he is brilliant at 18, Mendes, I've got to look after him. His natural fitness isn't yet impeccable. He has had a few little knocks. And I don't want him to play 2-3 games a week and then become knackered. So he's going to drop out for the more experienced Fataru, but I've no doubt will feature from the bench. And the rest of the team, not many changes. We're going to go back in holding midfield for Redondo. He'll replace Continella alongside Telehovsky. And defensively, erasing at right back is letting me down a bit, but I don't have another option. The one that sort of got away in the window, wasn't it? Where the director of football couldn't get one in. And that's left us a little bit short. But Doyle and Lukowski will play at centre-half. We've kept a number of clean sheets when they've played. They've got Alemda behind, Kirkes and Erasing either side of them. Telehovsky and Redondo back in as the holding midfield too. Vataru on the right, not yet rediscovered his form after injury despite that positive start. But Silva, Otavio and Hervenhoff all in form. Do I leave Otavio in or do I go for Rivera? Tell you what I could do here. I'm going to make an adjustment to that. I'm going to put Otavio on the right. I'm going to put Rivera on the left. And I'm going to leave Fataru out. Means Rivera, Otavio and Hervenhoff are the front three. Let's get into this one and see how they get on. Well, we're hoping for a quick start against a Braga side that have made 3 changes from midweek where they were beaten by Benfica in the Cup. Andre Gomez on the bench, another familiar name, but the big one really is Conceição, isn't it? If we can keep him quiet, we should be all right. Let's tell the boys to do what they can. A little bit of encouragement, nothing crazy. We're just trying to keep them on side for now. And to be fair, I don't want to say famous last words, but haven't had many throwing their toys out the pram yet. Otavio started well on that right. He is skipper in the team today. And we're playing it around nicely in the first 10 minutes as Redondo gives it to Silva. Good runs in front of him. Finds Redondo and Rivera. Bought in at the last minute. Hits the post. Probably deserved a goal there. Hit the inside of it and somehow bounced back out. But the first warning sign definitely on the Braga goal. So it's a long goal kick forward which is intercepted. But Kirkes flying in there. Really anticipates well. Rivera's down the line on the left. As is Silva. Into the box. Two in the middle. Hervenhoff's one is blocked. Just cannot get going this season. He scored big goals and he's popping up with 1 in 2. It's a good record, but just doesn't look like a superstar as he did in that Bayern stint. As Kirkes gets it to Silva. Down the left-hand side he goes. Kirkes beats the flying challenge from Conceição into Hervenhoff. And right on cue he does it again. Taps one in, gets his match stats up and looks like a good goal scorer. Not offering an awful lot in this game. He scored the first shot on target and it's 1-0 to Sporting Lisbon as a result. And now we're back a few minutes later with a corner kick. I've not been that impressed with Silva's delivery recently. And it's punched poorly by the keeper. Doyle finds Rivera. It's 2-0. And that is a gift if ever you're going to get one. It was a poor corner again. The keeper should have just claimed it. Instead he chose to go for a punch. Mishit it and it went to drop down at the edge of the box for Doyle. He lays it to Rivera who's got half the net to aim at. And the keeper, despite an effort, can't get back in time. We've had less shots on target. We've only had 2 in the whole match, but they've both gone in. And they've both been great opportunities. We've created good ones rather than plenty of them. As the ball comes forward with Braga, we don't want to let them back in. We could find a little time to start rediscovering our clean sheet form. That would be great. As Maximiano on the left, into the middle. Getting the fullbacks leaving position. Not ideally what we wanted. Fernandez down the left-hand side, across the box to Nogueira. Good block. Silva's nicked it as well on the edge. Conceição tried to cut it back and Gabriel Silva does brilliantly. Carries it 50 yards, forces the challenge for a throw and just gets us away from danger. Absolutely love that. And with 10 minutes to the break, we're back at the other end as Kirkes and Rivera try and play a 1-2 on the left. It is cleared away though. Telehovsky, oh how is that not a foul? Referee, how have you let us get away with that? Absolutely cynical play from Telehovsky. Just tripped his man. Fell for Doyle and he didn't do anything. I mean, we're not going to complain, but it's a surprise to me. As Rivera's delivery's good. Headed away as far as Hervenhoff. Can he turn provider? Finds Redondo. To Telehovsky. Drags his shot wide. I know they've had more shots on target, but we've looked really good in this game. It's been an exemplary away performance. Yes, we've still given up 1 or 2 chances. We look a proper threat as we go downfield again with Alemdar. Hervenhoff knocks down to Rivera and Silva. That's a lovely routine. Nice and simple. Silva loses the challenge. And again, it's one of those animations. I've got to be fair to Braga. Looked like they won the ball. The ball's gone from the sliding challenge. It's worked away to the right-hand side. Silva weren't aiming to kick it there, was he? So, must have been one. He's given a penalty. The commentary says that's surprising. And I'm surprised as well based on where the ball went. Hopefully not a problem for next year. As Telehovsky, no mistake again. Just proves the penalty taking rating doesn't matter, does it? All those players in the Aberdeen Twitch save with 16s, 17s, 18s, missing every other pen. Telehovsky, little rating of 10. Chucks them all in the back of the net. Half time, 3-0 to Sporting Lisbon. And probably one of our best performances, if not the best of the season. Let's keep it up, boys. We'll give it 10 more minutes. Then we can start to look at the substitutes bench. Well, early doors in the second half, and the last thing we want to do is offer a lifeline. No, Braga have given it away from the throw. Telehovsky storms away, gives it to Silva, has 2 out left, gets away with a poor touch, works forward again. Hervenhoff's there, and again picks the wrong option. For a great player, he does make some poor decisions, though Callum Doyle steps in and does really well. Otavio finds Hervenhoff, heavy touch. It's away as far as Conceição. This is a scrappy old highlight. End-to-end stuff, mistakes galore. But it is Braga creating a chance. Fernandez touch. What is a racing doing? It's 3-1. We've lost the clean sheet. The ball was clearly being played down the line to Fernandez. And a racing stepped up. I don't know if it's to play an offside trap that we're not instructing or what. He's so poor there. He's the biggest weak link of the team. He knows there's no one behind him to step up. And I think that's the problem. Conceição has gone off knackered, which is a benefit to us. And with 25 to go, we're going to take a tired Otavio off. He'll be replaced by Pedro Mendes. Vitaru's going to come on for Gabriel Silva. Then I take Telehovsky off for Continella. And I'm going to bring Volleson on at right back for a racing, who just really ain't impressing me, I've got to be honest. A quarter of the game remaining. It's been a really good display. But again, we risk making it tight if we don't see this out. Hervenhoff finds Fataru though as we look to break away and get a fourth. Here is Fataru. Back to Hervenhoff. Stunning football. Terrible finish. And that for Hervenhoff, anything more than 6 yards out this year, he's really struggled to score with. As Mendes has got the corner. Is his delivery any better? It's not bad. Laskowski wins it. It's over the bar. It stays 3-1. We could do with one more here. The expected goals is well over 4 now. We've just not made it count. It's going to be Redondo off for Braganca. Oh, I've put the wrong sub on. I've put the wrong bloody sub on. I've done that twice in the last couple of days. I don't know what's getting into me. Just a little misclick. The sort of thing you can't do in real life, eh? The equivalent of filling in the wrong numbers when you're putting your substitution in. Now what do I do? Because neither of them can play holding mid. I'm just going to say who's better at the attributes. I think we're going to put Vulcan left back and Kirkers in a holding role. Braganca misses out on another sub appearance, the legend. And this, it could have disastrous consequences. Up to the back post, headed half away. There's no one in that middle of the pitch now. Gomez shoots, it's in, it's 3-2. Oh, we've made it difficult and I've not helped the case. This is now problematic. Please just see it out. That's all I'm asking for here. Well, 8 minutes to go. It's a goal kick for Alemdar. Long downfield towards Hervenov, who's won a lot up there today. Kirkes looks like a fish out of water at the minute. He gives it away to Roger. Down the right-hand side. In he goes. He's 1-on-1. Oh, my God. Why? How many clean sheets do you want to keep and then produce this crap defensively? Kirkes takes the blame for the goal. Look at the expected goals. Look at it. If ever there's an FM in and all that hard work, it's 3-0 at half time when we throw it away. That's a disgraceful performance. Forget the one sub that went wrong. That is a disgusting effort from 3-0 up. Really poor, really arrogant. And defensively, how has Doyle got a 7.4? How have the defenders got good ratings after that? Alemdar seems to be at fault for it by the match ratings, but I really don't get it. 3-3, throwing away a 3-goal lead. We're just not quite at the level of consistency of the other top boys. Now we've got Porto at home next week, but I'm absolutely gutted about that one. Well, it's fitness test time, and it's been quite the week when it comes to injuries here, with Braganca, Pinto, Mendes and Alemdar all picking up injuries. Let's go and have a look and see how many of them are fully fit as we try to make some ground, go level with Porto ahead of Benfica's game later this evening. A missed opportunity against Braga, but we've now got the chance to put it right. Let's see if home comforts will be the flavour of the day. Not many familiar names in the Porto team, though at the back they have got Thomas Aviles, who if you followed the Aberdeen Twitch save you will know from his brief stint with us there. Let's go and get through our 11 though. Who's fit, who's not, and who needs to come out. I'm going to drop Otavio for Taru, I think. We're going experience here. Kirkes is going to have to drop out. He got injured after his disaster last week. He's replaced by Vulcan. Vasco Souza will go on the bench. I could chuck a striker on as well, to be fair, but I'm not going to. Braganca will go off for Rorado or... No, let's put Fernandez on there. Let's make sure we've got an attacker. I'd love to take a racing out. I would love to do something else at the back, but we've got 3 great centre-halves and no one who can play right-back. It's not ideal. Thought about the back 3, but then we have to leave out 2 of the attacking stars, which is not ideal. We've already got 1 out. With Mendes improving, I don't want to lose that. So this is the team that we're going to go for today. The only change is Vulcan at left-back, which is enforced, and Fataru on the right wing, which is also a little bit enforced because Otavio's got a heavy match load. But 2 changes overall, a really strong side, but will it be able to do the job? And more importantly, will it be able to do it for 90 minutes rather than just 45? Well, a big night this in our season. Are we going to be in that mix with Benfica and Porto, or are we going to be dropping away? They've got out a pretty strong team, but they aren't that formidable. There's no one up there who I would say is too world-class for us to beat on our day. The problem is, as we've mentioned, we've not got the same squad depth. So if we do get 2 or 3 more injuries, we might be in a little bit of trouble, depending on what areas they are. As we head into the first half, it's been a solid first 5 minutes, but we had a solid first 45 against Braga. I'm not going to get overexcited. It's something that's cost me a few times in this save. I need to keep on an even keel, especially as we're 20 gone. There's yet to be a shot on target from either team. It's not a high quality match. Might throw out a little bit of encouragement just to see if we can get on the front foot. While Benfica have been champions 5 years in a row, there's no doubt that Porto have started the most solid side in the league. As we mentioned, not got the best goal difference, but they're not conceding many goals at all. And that is evident in the way this first half has gone. The complete opposite of what we saw against Braga and Benfica. A tight, cagey game, only one shot on target, and not a single highlight but a half-time point. Let's tell the boys to prove a point. Let's get a little bit of encouragement into them. Hopefully, a little bit of motivation as we've got an early second half corner. First highlight in a match. Avalos heads away. Only as far as on the bicycle kick for Federico Redondo, who gets it on target but not in. Never really threatened to beat the keeper, but a lovely technique. Maybe he could have passed it back to the edge of the box and forced a shot, though. I don't know. Nearly an hour gone. We're just about edging the stats, but there's nothing in this. 0-0 is fair so far. The problem is, we saw what happened when we got to the latter stages against Braga, didn't we? I don't want a repeat of that here. Santinelli gets the ball forward. I might not have a choice. Hervanov chases, but it's a long ball forward. A racing, nowhere to be seen again. Headed away as far as Silva, and now we can break. Fataru's wide right. Hervanov's up top. Here is Fataru, who gets it from him. Both of them darting towards the box now. Can we get some threats in there? Hervanhov's in the middle, loses out. Falls for Redondo. Rivera. All the way across to Fataru. Weird ball. Chance to cut in on his left foot, though. And Abdul Fataru. He's been left out a little while. He's struggled for form since injury. But just like he did in the opening game, he's produced a moment of magic. Fataru makes it 1-0 on the hour mark. And you know what? We don't really deserve it, but I'll take it. And we'll look at subs in a moment. I'm not going to go too early in this one. The only sub I'm going to make, I think, up front is take off Redondo for Continella and switch to the two more defensive-minded midfielders like such. I think they are actually the best combination officially. Racing's nervous, but what do? I bought on Volleson last time we fell apart. Gabriel Silva's nervous. Hervanhov's nervous. There's not really many that look great at a minute. I'll take Fataru into midfield and I'm going to put Silva up front. And I'm going to take Hervanhov off here for Pedro Mendes. I'm going to bring on the youngster and see how he does. There's 20 minutes remaining. Porto yet to have a shot on target. And for a side that are top of the table, we'll completely take that result if we can get it. 10 minutes to go now. Again, just going to start making the subs gradually. We're going to bring Otavio on the left. And the last two can wait. They can be time-wasting subs. Telehovsky struggling physically, but I'm not sure I want to do that. Silva up front is as well. I'm just going to take Silva off for the last couple. Bring on Mamadou Fernandez. I'm not sure I want to do the fifth sub. Not sure I want to take the risk. Let's just get to stoppage time. We will then shut the time wasting on as we did against Benfica and as we should have against Braga. 3.5 minutes are remaining. Otavio, you drop back there. Ataru, you drop back there. You can do the job for now. Mendes it is, sorry, on the right, isn't it? Maybe I'm going to have to put Fataru on the left just so we've got someone who's a bit more capable in that role. Does it make much of a difference? I don't know that it does. I'm going to put Fataru on the left just because he's more comfortable as a winger. We're going to put the fullbacks onto defensive duties as we did last time. And we're going to try and see out these last few minutes. We're going to time waste all the time. Reduce the tempo. No, I'm not going to play for set pieces. We're going to be more disciplined. We're going to slow it down. We're going to hold our shape. We're also going to drop the line of engagement. And we're not going to get stuck in. Just as we did against Benfica in the last episode, we want to see out a one-goal victory. And one that would be crucial in terms of our season. Sporting Lisbon are not perfect, but they're back up competing with the elite. A moment of magic from Abdul Fataru. And I've got to say now, in hindsight, I was gutted a couple of episodes ago. Not having European football has been the greatest blessing in disguise we could have asked for. A magnificent achievement to win back-to-back home games against Benfica and Porto in the league. Such a shame we threw that away against Braga because we would have been top and deservedly so. Now we're just ahead on goal difference, but Benfica should close the gap in the next few hours. Let's just see what their result is after we praise Fataru. And hopefully, as Sporting Lisbon enjoy life under us, we're starting to get them excited. 14 victories from 20 games, 13 unbeaten. Just annoying that Braga match. It should have been another win. And how many wins in a row would that have been? 6? would have really started to look good, wouldn't it? Let's get through the press conference. Let's see what Benfica do tonight. And then we'll come and plan when we're next going to be back, because now there's no big games for ages. Well, Benfica do exactly the same job that we did. A big 1-0 win. And it looks like from the early suggestions of the table, and I don't want to get carried away here, that we have got Sporting back up into the big three. It's whether we can avoid finishing third of that big three. We've been in this position before with Willem 2, the first club of this save. We can never quite get past Ajax and Feyenoord. Is it going to be the same case here? We'll wait and find out. Let's have a look at the schedule for when we might next be back, because I'm trying to work out based on where teams are. Estoril are 4th. We've got them at the end of December with a transfer window opening after. Either side of that, we've got Boa Vista and we've got Chavez. So who's highest out of those? I mean, they're both pretty poor, aren't they? Boa Vista are better, though. So it might be the last 2 games of December. I don't know when the next round of the League Cup is due to be, the semi-final. Should we have a look at that schedule? When would the semi-final be? Okay, so the semi-final's mid-January. The semi-final's 4 days before the final. So definitely then that's what we're going to do. We're going to come back for the last 2 games of December, Boa Vista and Estoril. And then after that, we're going to come back in mid-January for what will hopefully be a Portuguese League Cup semi-final and final. If you're looking forward to that and you did enjoy this one, a topsy-turvy game, an official game of 2 halves against Braga, and a big gritty 1-0 win at home to Porto. And please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you think my aspirations should be this year. Have I got to do the job while there's no European football? Is that the question we're left with? If you want to stay up to date and find out if we can, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. Director of Football is going to get busy in the January window as well. That's coming up in the next couple of episodes. Between now and then, though, we are back tomorrow with Southend United. I'm really having a frustrating time there at the moment. Lots of cup final defeats, but this season, we're hoping we can put a few right. Still chasing my Carabao Cup over there. There's also links in the eye above to the Twitch channel for regular live streams and the football podcast where our latest round of championship score predictions are now live. Come and get involved with that if you haven't done so before. But thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Abdul Fatawu, for a moment of magic. And hopefully, as we reach the end of 2033, we can keep at the top of the table and in that big title push with Sporting Lisbon. Let's take them back to the glory days.